Welcome back to the fourth installment of our lockdown breath hold series. Depending on how your max static attempt went, you might be very happy with your performance and you are keen to improve on that, or you are a bit disappointed and you know you can do better. Your major stumbling block was most likely that your urge to breathe became too strong. In this video, I will introduce you to CO2 training and some of the ideas behind it. I say ideas because there are many different thoughts of how this topic should be approached. Some I will lay out today, and for others you will have to be a bit more patient. As we know, the urge to breathe is caused by a buildup of CO2 in the body. The point at which it manifests and the intensity thereof varies greatly among individuals. Through CO2 tolerance training, we are familiarizing our bodies with high levels of CO2 to induce the urge to breathe later. With regular exposure to the urge to breathe, we are familiarizing ourselves to those sensations, allowing us to build comfort and tolerance so that we can withstand them longer. The most basic way to do this is to do a classic CO2 table. The principle behind it is to do a number of breath holds of equal duration with a reducing recovery interval. We do not want to exhaust our O2 supply. Instead, we are doing a number of relatively easy breath holds with a reducing recovery interval. This ensures we are not becoming hypoxic, but we have an ever increasing amount of CO2. We are not giving our body enough time to off-gas the CO2. And that is the leading thought behind any kind of CO2 tables. Expose yourself to high levels of CO2, but keeping the O2 levels safe. How do I design a CO2 table for myself though? You have the three variables which you can adopt to your level. Number of breath holds, length of the breath hold, and the recovery time, the interval by which it reduces. Number of breath holds, I would say minimum of 6 and a maximum of 10, but 6 to 8 is a good number. Length of the breath hold. Take your static from the last few days and use about 50 to 70% of that. If I have a 3-minute breath hold, 70% of that will give me 2 minutes and 6 seconds, or we just use about 2 minutes. If you have a 4-minute breath hold, 70% of that is 4 minutes and 48 seconds. So use 2:30 or 2:40. Recovery time. For the first time, start at 1:30 or 1:45 and reduce the interval by 10 or by 15 seconds. In the beginning, I would not go below 30 seconds recovery time. Also, you can have multiple breath holds at the same recovery time. You want to structure the table in such a way that it challenges you, but that you are able to complete it. If you find that the table is too hard, don't abandon the table. Sometimes you find that one breath hold is more difficult than the other. Just go back to your recovery and keep going with the table. Or what you can do is reduce the breath hold time by 10 or 20 seconds, but keep going. If you feel that the table is not challenging you, increase the breath hold or drop the recovery quicker, say 20 or 30 seconds. As you become more and more comfortable with the table, you can ramp up your game even further. For those of you who can't sit still for very long, use 30 to 50% of your max static. Start off with a short recovery and drop the intervals by 10 or 5 seconds. Let me show you. So I've got a max static of 3 minutes. I'll use 50% of that, so we're sitting at 1:30. 1:30. And my recovery interval, let me start with 60 seconds and then I'll go down to 50, 40, 30, 20, and I can either continue with 20 or if you're very brave you can even go 10, 10 or 45 seconds, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, and 15. Oh, we've got another one. 10. Again, same principle as before. If it is too difficult, you can reduce the breath hold a bit, or you can stay stuck at one interval and don't go further. Be warned though, these tables can be quite intense. The idea here is not to waste time with the easy stages, but to go to a stage directly where you are challenged from the beginning. After you've done the table a few times, hopefully you will find that it becomes easier. then it is time to change these variables again. You can increase the number of breath holds, you can increase the time of your breath hold, or you can start with a lower recovery or reduce the interval quicker. Useful tools with these kind of tables is to have a freediving app on your phone. The most popular app seems to be the Freediving Apnea Trainer. You can design your own tables with all three variables. They also help you keep track of your performance over time. There are a number of apps out there that should do the same things. We will have a few links for you in the comment section below. A quick note though, in those apps you often have a choice of an O2 table. Ignore them. If you plan on heading into the competitive side of freediving, they might become of use later on. In the next video, we will show you how to do an active table. I hope you have fun challenging yourself. Keep us posted on your progress and how you experience your first table.